dear friends, welcome back again. We are so happy you popped over again to see what we are up to today. Of course, for everyone who is new here, welcome. We are Janny and Dyanne, and we hope you enjoy what you see. And if you do, of course, we hope you take a little bit of inspiration with you. For everyone who is here and is not subscribed to our channel, we hope you will click the red subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and tick the bell so you will be notified every time we upload new DIYs. Like we always say, enough talking, let's jump in today's inspiration. On the table are already the things we need for this DIY, and of course we use this time also the smaller tumbling tile blocks. And of course I have here my container with everything inside, some scissors, markers, brushes, some mop pot, some twine, and of course the wood glue. I use a very cheap brand wood glue, especially also for this DIY. I don't recommend to use hot glue because everything can fall apart and that's not what you want. I have here just a container with some paint, but I'm not sure which color I will use, but choose any color you like. Of course, I have here a piece of old kitchen towel which is wet to wipe away the glue we don't need. So of course these are the main things we need for this DIY. What we're going to make, we are going to make an egg house, but of course with our own twist on it. So we will see how this will turn out. So the first step, what we're going to do, we are going to make the sides of our little dresser or a cabinet, just how you call it. I never tell you how it's called because everyone gives a own name on it. I googled it a lot, and you get from what we say in Dutch much different names that you say in English. So I just keep calling every name, so don't mind me. We are going to make the sides, and we're going to do 10 times 4 pieces. So we're going to do the sides, we give some glue, and of course the longer side, and we just go to roll them together. So easy, you just glue 3, and number 4 is the closure up, like this. And I love making this a kind of dresses. We call it in the Netherlands, we call it kastje. So it's a much different word. So we call it with the K, kastje. So I hope if you are enjoying also the Dutch word of the day, you like to learn a little bit of the Dutch language. We also have every day around 5 p.m. I have the Dutch word of the day. But of course, it's not everyone's cup of tea. I understand that. But sometimes mixing English with Dutch is always sometimes for people confusing. But I do my best. And now we're going to do already number 7. And we're going to do the last, number 9. And then number 10. I do it as fast as I can so everyone can see how it is made. And we're going to squeeze them together until one piece. We do here the same, squeeze it. And here. And again, from the side you give more power to your blocks, and you want to be sure that everything is sticking nicely together. And I do it with my fingers, but you can use a carpenter's square, just what you want. And it is so easy to make. And now we already have the sides of our kastje, because I hope you also, when you learn at least one thing about this DIY, you already learned a Dutch word, kastje. And you can see at the end how ons kastje turned out. So I'm going to let it dry in for a couple of minutes. Of course, I'm also going to wipe away the glue we don't need. And always after wiping away the glue, make sure that you make a straight line again, because you don't want that your sides is crooked. So again, you see already some pieces are a little bit out of line, and I'm going to make sure that everything has a nice straight line. So I'm going to give it a couple of minutes, and then we're going to do the next step. So I gave them a couple of minutes. Now we're going to turn them, and we do 5 in a row. We do here this way and this way. And of course, what we're going to do is very easy. We're just going to do on the top side, we do some glue. We do on here some glue. Place it together. We do here the same. And here. And number 5 is of course the closure up, and that's why we do it already after a couple of minutes to be sure that we have room to fill in the open gaps, because we don't want open gaps. Over here, and we're going to wipe away the glue so we can see what we do. And you see already one block is sticking out really much, and I think I'm still going to get it out, because for the size of an kastje it's always better to have it in the same line. So I'm going to clean this block up and I'm going to use it for a different one. So I'm going to squeeze this one and we're going to fill it in. Very easy, and now we have a straight line on the underside, and that's what we want. Of course we have to squeeze it, and this is already one. Now we're going to do, and you see that's the way also you have to work with blocks, because blocks are never the same size, and with one DIY you can use a couple of the crooked blocks. If you're making wheels, then it doesn't matter how your top is looking like, so you can use them later always for next DIY. So don't throw them away, just keep them maybe in a different box or maybe something else, but you always can use them later. So I'm going to feel with my fingers to make sure that I have a straight line. And now we're going to let this dry in for at least 20 minutes. Yes, and you see it right, you see a lot of blocks. You are so right, these are a lot of blocks. We are going to do the back side of our kastje, and of course we use 5 rows of 15 blocks. So 15, 15, 15, 15 and 15, so 5 rows of 15 blocks. And of course don't worry, don't get stressed that I will do all blocks together with you, so don't mind. Don't worry, I'm just going to do only this side, but this will be the back side. And of course I did it a little bigger because I have my kastje of course with 2 doors, so I'm going to go this time for 2 doors. Do you want to see a kastje, but of course with some shelves inside? With 1 door you have to go to All About Christmas, my other channel I have also, and then you can see how a kastje is made for 1 door. So that's also great to decorate. He's a small one and you can easily decorate it anywhere you like. Of course we're going to squeeze it. This is already 1 piece, and I do the other 4 a little faster. So now I have my 5 pieces of 15. What I'm going to do, I'm going to place them very carefully. Place them this way because we want to make a back side. So over here, and of course they are still not dry, so be careful, just place them carefully on the side. And you see already this one wants to break, but it doesn't matter, just easily place them together. And we do here the same on the side. We're going to do some glue over here. We make a straight line over here. We do here the same. And of course I try to do it as fast as I can. And if it does take too much of your time, then of course skip forward. But this is a channel which we are always doing step by step. So if you don't like it and you don't think it's not fast enough, I totally understand. But maybe then this channel is not for you, I always say. But of course I hope you still enjoy it. And we're going to place it together, and now we're going to very carefully from each side to each side, we're just going to fill in the open gaps and just work your way. And of course things are going out of each other, doesn't matter, just work away again. And again over here, make sure that you also have a straight line over here and over here. And we're going to fill in the open gaps as much as we can. And it takes a little of your time to make one nice plank out of it. But don't worry, just get your time and take a little bit more of your time, and later you will be happy that you did, because everything is fitting nicely then better. So again, I'm going to squeeze this and I'm going to wipe away the glue because we don't want the glue over here, and we're going to let this dry also the same like the sides, some 20 minutes. So I have now on my other mat, I have the sides drying and I have the back side drying. Now we're going to go for the front side of the kastje. We need 5 blocks of 4, so 5 blocks of 4. That's where we start with. That's the underside of the front side. So very easy to do. You just take 5 rows of 4, and then later we're going to turn them over on the side. So again, this is number 3, number 4, and the last number 5, and we're going to squeeze them on the sides because that gives a little bit more strength to your blocks, but always work a little bit from the inside to the outside, and then in one time this, if you're going to do one in this way, then it will pop over to everywhere. And I speak from experience. I have had it a lot of times that everything was flying over my table. So learn from someone like me, because I had it so many times and now I still do it, if I am be honest, because sometimes I totally forget and I just squeeze already before I am thinking, and and everything is flying over my table. But mistakes with DIY is also part of the DIY. So again, we're going to give this a couple of minutes. So I gave all pieces a couple of minutes. We're going to turn them this way and we're going to make one piece out of it, and then we already have the underside of the front side. So again, we do some glue, roll them together. We do here and the last, because number 5 is always the closure up. And again, you're going to squeeze it and fill in the open gaps this way, and we're going to wipe away the glue over here, and we're going to place this aside, and we're going to let this dry also a little bit, but we're going to go further with the next piece. So what we're going to do, we're going to place 3 over here and 3 over here and another one of 3. So very easy, just do some glue on the tops over here, and we're going to place this in one row and over here, and this one on top of here, and this one here, some glue here, and we're going to make a nice line out of it. Here the same, squeeze it, press it, and this way, and we're going to wipe away also here the glue, and we're going to let this rest also a couple of minutes. And then the last step we need to do for the front side is we're going to place 2 blocks, 2 blocks, 2 blocks, and 2 blocks, and 2 blocks, and we have 5 blocks of 5 sets of 2. So again, do the longest line, place them together, do the longest line, place them together, here the same, and place them together, and this one, and the last already. And we're going to place this together, going to squeeze it, make a straight line, squeeze, straight line. You can dream, if you are doing this DIY, after this DIY you can dream it. Then you in the night you still are doing my DIYs. So I'm going to let this rest for 20 minutes. So of course this was not 20 minutes, this was only a couple of minutes, because we still need to glue our 5 pieces of 2 together. We're just going to do some on the top, and this one on the top, and this one, and then we're going to give a little bit of pressure over here, and we're going to make sure that we have a nice straight line, And always feel that this is at least as even as possible. Is it really crooked or really a part is sticking out, then I recommend take another block and keep the other one just for other DIYs. So again, we're going to place this over here. What we're going to do, we're going to get this part, and be careful because it's still not totally dry. This is the underside of the front side. This is the top of the front side, and we're going to place them in between. So it is very easy. We do some glue on this top and on this top, and be careful because it is still not dried up. We place this one over here. We do here some glue and here, and we place this one in the middle, of course, in the middle of number 5, and this number 3 over here of two open, and in the middle of this one. Again, we do here and over here, and we're going to place this one over here. And now, if everything is correctly, you can easily fill it up with this one. So, and make sure that you have it in the line you want to have it. And this, of course, you have to work with it to have the position you like. Over here, we're going to wipe away the glue from the front, and then you can see better what you're doing. And you see already, I need to go out from this side over here, and this one is straight and this one is nice. And now we're going to give this really at least 20 minutes. So I gave this 20 minutes. It's not like I told you every time it is not totally dry yet, because wood glue is always about hours, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to turn this one this way. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get my sides. I'm going to do some glue. Of course, I have to look for, because this one, the other side, is the flat side. So I hope that it doesn't break and I can turn it, because I want to have the flat side on the inside. That's better to glue. And I do this also with this one. I'm going to do the flat side in. So I'm going to do some glue over here, and over here. And I'm going to place this one on the side over here, and make sure that you feel with your fingers and give it some pressure from the top. Of course, make sure that you keep it inside over here and this way. And we're going to let this rest. We're going to get this one. We're going to do the flat side on the inside. We're going to do work with we do some glue on this side over here, and we place this one on this side, on the inside, not in front, but on top of here. We're going to give this some pressure also from the middle. Always feel with your fingers, make sure that you have it really smooth next to each other. We're going to wipe away the glue which is coming out on the outside. Of course, over here I don't see if there's glue, because you can see it, I don't. I don't see it. So I'm going to feel with my fingers, and I'm going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to do glue on top. So now we're going to do some glue on this side, and we do it on this side. And of course I chose for the probably the bigger side under, because or else the door are very low. But if you want to turn it around, you can easily turn it around. So do whatever you think you like. I'm going to get my back side, and of course I make sure that I use the back side, which is the flattest, because always there's, if you go going to glue blocks, always one side is smoother than the other one because you're pressing it down. So I'm going to get this one, and I'm going to place this on top. Make sure I have to look that I have it in the place I like to have it. I'm going to let it fall down, and I'm going to look for if I have it also in the straight line over here and here. And I'm just going to lightly give it some pressure, not too much, very lightly, and feel with my fingers so I have a straight line also over here, or else he has trouble standing. So I'm going to let it rest for at least, now I can say at least a half hour. So I'm going to place this mat aside over here because he needs to dry. I get my second mat. I always have 2 cheap mats for over here. The only thing I saw on one of the DIYs of someone who has a mat who has some, we call it anti-slip, that it doesn't move around. That is I'm looking for here in the Netherlands, but it's a little bit harder to find. We are going to make the bottom, and the bottom we're going to make from pieces of 5. So we're going to start with the bottom, and the bottom is 5 rows of 5. So very easy. Also again, the longest ones you glue together, and we're going to do, and if you don't want to spend more blocks, you also can do the underside with something else, maybe a piece of wood you have laying around. You can do it with anything, because we also need still the doors, and not everyone wants to pay too much of the blocks. So again, this is number 3 and the number 4. And then you already have your bottom. And of course you can make the bottom a little bigger if you like that, but I'm going to do some little feet under it. But you can change it up any way you like. I'm going to squeeze it, press it together, and now from the side. And this way we're going to make sure that we have everything sturdy together. And again, squeeze it. And you see where the middle one is always want to pop up. And over here, the last, squeeze it. And we're going to wipe away the glue, and then we're going to give it a couple of minutes rest only. Over here. And the last. And again, make sure that you have a straight line already. And this way. So I gave it a couple of minutes. We're going to turn them, and we're going to place them this way. We're going to do some glue on the tops again. We place this one and this one over here and this one and the last, at least for the glue. And again, we're going to make sure that we get a nice fitting plank over here to use as a bottom. So again, this way, feel with your fingers. You see already this one, there are a couple of blocks who are a little bit smaller than the rest, but we keep it this way because it is a bottom and you still can use it. So always, when you have a lot of glue on the underside, I always make sure that it goes apart, and I place it very gently straight up, wipe away my mat, and I'm going to place it down again and also do the other sides. And then you have a really clean piece. So again, you're going to make sure that everything has a nice fit. So this is already our bottom. So now for the top, I'm going to do it a little bit over the dresser, and the top will be a little bit bigger than the dresser, so you get a nice piece over it, because I like that. It gives a little bit more like a high-end look. So we have 5 pieces of 6, so not 5 pieces of 6. And now I'm still thinking, should have I done it also for the bottom? But we will see. I'm first going to make the top, and then I'm going to look for if I like it a little better with it sticking out a little. So that's always DIY. You make it up at the spot. You never know how it will turn out, and you see always at the moment how things are looking like, if they like you, or if you like it, or if you don't like it, and maybe you are going to leave it out. But maybe I will do the bottom also a little bigger, but we will see. I'm going to make this one, and then we're going to look for if this also is nice for the bottom. That's the greatest, that I make it already, and you only have to make it later. So, but this is easy. 5 pieces of 6 like this, and we're going to get 2 blocks, and we're going to glue 2 blocks together this way. And then we already have the top, so we're going to squeeze it this way and make one piece. We do here the same over here, and here also squeeze it and the same over here, and again make a straight line this way, and I'm going to give it a rest a couple of minutes. So I gave the 5 pieces of 6 some rest a couple of minutes. Now we're going to turn them. Very easy. We're going to place them on the side, do some glue, the same like we did with the bottom. We do some glue over here, place it against each other, and here the same. And of course, like I told you earlier, it can fall apart, but just place it together again. It's so easy to work with, so don't worry about it. And we're going to place this one, and now we're going to do this one on the side. We do a smallest glue over here, and we place this one of course also here, over here. We're going to give it some pressure, make sure that we have everything in a straight line this way, and we're going to give it some to be sure that everything is sticking nicely. Also be sure that this is in a nice straight line. Again, wipe away the glue like this, and of course also over here. Make sure that everything is always clean on your table, because that works much better with wood glue. So I'm going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to look if we are going to make the bottom. You see already the bottom is a little smaller, 1 block and 1 block over here. So maybe I'm going to make this one also bigger, but we're going to see. I already made up my mind. I'm going to make this one also 1 bigger. So it is very easy. We just take some block, we do some glue, and over here, place it over here. We get a block, some on the top, on the side, place it over here. We do 1 over here, 1 over here, place it over here. We do here the same, and again, filling it in. The last already from this side, and we're placing it in. We are going to now do some glue over here and on the top. We're going to place this one over here, and now the last, the only need to do on the side, and we place this one over here. Very easy. And we're going to fill in, because we want to make sure that also this has a nice line. And you see this one needs to go up, and we're going to let this dry also. And now we have 2 of the same pieces. So if you want to make it in one time, you need 5 pieces of 6 and 1 of 2, and you do this 2 times. So then it's very easy. So I did wait a couple of minutes, 20 minutes, and now I'm going to look for that my bottom is already the smooth side on the top. I'm going to do my a little box. Of course, I'm going to make sure that I place it this way. I hope you still can see it. We're going to do some glue on the top, and we go around over here and over here. Oh, and we go over here and this way. Now we're going to turn it over, and we're going to place it in the middle. And of course, if everything is correctly, you have a little piece of overlay. So I'm going to look for where I want to have it, and this way, and then we're going to give it some pressure from the top this way. But first, always look for that you have the place you want to have. And I did decide I'm going to do I showed you a little better this way. I do the bigger side on top because I was thinking I'm going to do some lettering over here, and that's a little difficult if you do this one on top, and I like it better. Of course, you also can do some shelves in between if you like that. I'm not going to choose that for this time because I want to do it something different. It's always a little bit with shelves, but you can do some shelves inside. But I'm going to go for this, and shelves will be, because this is 4 blocks wide. Over here, your shelves need also be 4 wide, and they need 5 long. 5 long, 4 wide, and then you have to cut off a little piece of the plank, and then you can easily, before you place this one on top, you can do some shelves inside. I'm not going to choose that for this time because I already made a lot of shelves. So I'm going to now glue the top also. I hope I can show it to you a little bit on camera over here. And I'm going to place some glue over here and over here and around and over here. And I'm going to place this piece also, but I make sure that I have the flat side on top. So I'm going to do this way, and I have to look for the, you see already you have one with two on the side. I have one direction on this one, die will be here, and I have the other one on this side. You see already over here. So I have them placed a little different. So over here, and I'm going to look for where I want to have it, give it some pressure. And then we're going to give it, of course, I'm going to get some weight, and I'm going to give some weight on top, some paint cans, to be sure that everything is sticking nicely together. So now we are going to let the little dresser rest of cabinet. We call it, like I almost forgot, we call it kastje. So we're going to make the doors, and the doors will be 6 times 6 blocks. So very easy, 6 times 6 blocks. And we're going to do the length like we did already, almost the whole DIY. You can dream it. And I'm going to do number 5, and number 6 is the closure up. And I only do this one also together with you, and the rest I will do faster, because or else you are really bored with all my talking and all my directions. So I gave them a couple of minutes drying. Now I'm going to turn them over this way, and I'm going to turn this one this way. For me, the doors are only decorative, so they don't have to work. But if you like them to work, you can do some hinges, if I'm correctly, on the side and make them work. So you can do them really open and close. But I'm going to do them only for a decoration. For me, I just push them in. But if you want to, like I told you, if you want to have them working, then I would go for that. You, if I'm correctly, you call it in hinges, if I'm correctly, and you can place them on the side. So then you can make them work, but always be sure that if you do it, that just sand off a little piece of the underside, because or else he will be a little bit too tight, because he's really fitting just right. But if you want to have it really open and closed, then I only would not saw it off, but only sand it off. Because, or else with sawing, you probably do too much and then you get an opening, and that's not what you want with a door. So only sand off a little piece of the underside, because then you can really make it work. But like I told you, mine is only for decorative purpose, so I only show it to you because it's kind of a door. So I'm going to press this together. I'm going to wipe away, and I'm going to let this dry in. And you see already, I still have some open gaps, because I see already one of my blocks is totally crooked, and I don't know which one it will be. I can turn it over, maybe that will work also. We will see if this works, and that's always with DIYing, just try. And you see this one works a little bit better, and I can still use the block. So I'm going to let it rest for at least 20 minutes. So you see already, he is already almost dried up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to paint mine in the creamy white color. I already have my paint over here, and I'm going to do the inside first and then the outside. Of course, you can spray paint it in the gold, silver, copper. You can make it black. You can do any color you like. So I'm going to paint this first, then I'm going to do the doors. And then we're going to give the doors also some knobs, and we're going to do some letters on top of here. I'm not sure what I'm going to write on here. We will see that later, but first we're going to paint. So you see already, I did already the cabinet. And now I'm going to do the doors, and I also going to do the doors in the creamy white color. So I'm going to first do one side and then I'm going to do the other side. So I painted the door already on one side. I have here now my bag with my beads. I try not to make so many noise. I did it in the IKEA bag in different sizes, and I'm going to take two of the not so bigger ones, and I'm going to get them in a little bit of the brown color, light brown color. So I'm going to, in the meantime, while my doors are drying, I'm going to do this two little beads of half rounds of wood for making doorknobs, but you can use anything as a doorknob. You can do a piece of cardboard, you can make a lid of a bottle. You also can, it's plastic, you can use as a doorknob, so you don't have to pay anything. So I'm just showing you what I use. So I'm going to do two of them for each door one. So I did grab also my bag of ladders, wooden ladders. You see already they are very thin. So I'm going to take out the word chickens because I'm going to decorate mine with some roosters, and I am loving chickens, so I'm going to decorate them. So I'm going to get my marker. You can paint them. You can, if you are a great rider, you can also write it on top of your cabinet, but I'm not a great writer, so I'm just going to use simple letters just to make sure that I don't mess up. So I'm going to do this one also. So I place down my cabinet and I'm going to lay down the letters I have, and I'm going to look for how I want to have them on top of here, but that's also your own privilege. You don't have to do it the way I do it because everyone has their own taste. Of course, decay. I have to look for which letters I have to use. And you see the N and the S. So I'm going to look for where I want to have it. Both of them are 4 letters. So if you're going to go for the middle, then we have both the letters for the middle. So this one. Then we can go to this side and this side, and then maybe we go over here and over here. But you see already this is one big big mess, so I'm going to play with it where I want to have it, and then I'm going to glue them with some wood glue, very easy, on top of here. So I have my letters on top of my cabinet. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my doors, I'm going to place them next to each other this way and this way, and I'm going to place the knobs, and of course I'm going to look because I want to have them on the same spot. So again, this one will be on the outside, this will be on the other outside, so I'm going to glue this one over here, and not too low, I keep it this way. And now I'm going to do here the same, and I'm going to place this one a little lower this way, and I'm going to let this dry in. So, and you see already I did my doors inside, and I just squeeze them in because I want mine to be stuck on here, because I don't use hinges. But if you want to use them and you have a working, I told you, just sand off the underside of your door a little bit, and then you are sure that he really can open and close with your hinges. But I'm going to just leave it this way, squeeze it inside and leave it drying right now. And you see in a moment the quick impression how I decorated my little chicken cabinet. And here you see finally a quick impression of my tumbling tower blocks, a little cabinet, of course for my chickens, but you can change it up for any season. Of course, I had so much fun making this, and it is so easy to do, and you can use it so great in your decor. So I hope you give this one also a try. Everyone who is new here, I hope you enjoy what you saw, and if you do, I hope you will click the red subscribe button, give us a thumbs up and hit the bell so you will be notified every time we upload new DIYs. For more DIYs, come on over to our description box, there you find the link for our DIY channels. Hope to see you there, and everyone who is here and only love to watch, I hope you had fun watching again. And for now, have an amazing day. See you in the next one. Bye.